Hello, my name is Tyler Bell, and I'm the host of Westside Tyler Live, an arts, culture, and politics live stream here on YouTube and Twitch. About 2 weeks ago, I had a short debate with noted equestrian thought leader and left-wing polemic Ian Kaczynski, also known as Vaush Video. A debate that was short, in fact, because Vaush abruptly decided to disconnect once he realized, at least to my impression, that he wasn't performing well and had bit off more than he could chew. Since the immediate end of that debate, and to a certain extent before it, Vaush decided to attack me as a person instead of the ideas and logic behind the arguments I was making. I'm no stranger to sophistry, and even enjoy partaking of it myself at times, but Vaush was unfortunately too lazy to even look up who I was, choosing instead to take the piggish route and build me out of straw, so to say. I'm not particularly offended by his unfounded assertions that I am disingenuous, clout-hungry, and somehow don't believe in the subject matter that we discussed. I suppose, in his mind, that fashion hobbyists must possess the zeal of the faith militant in order to discuss the tailoring of t-shirts. However, no, my largest concern is that a massive creator is now and has continued to poison the well against me simply to soothe his own ego after running from an impromptu, and in my eyes extremely low-stakes, debate he agreed to. To that end, I'm posting our debate with minimal, non-interruptive commentary for posterity's sake, so that people can watch it essentially straight through and make their own conclusions. I've already done extensive commentary on the subject, so if you want to see my thorough breakdowns of the debate, my impressions, and the full arguments I might have made if Vaush hadn't ran, please check those out at your convenience. The links are below. All that said, what I'll present now are 3 chunks of captured video. Vaush watching my original video before the debate itself, and Vaush's commentary after he disconnected. Enjoy.
Vaush, the guy in you video thinks your dating advice is garbage. This is a small channel, and this is a 90-minute video. I'm a little curious, purely for the reason that I think my dating advice fucking rocks, actually. But it's a 90-minute video from a small channel. His confidence in his takes is wild to me. Well, that's piece of dating advice number 1. You got to be confident, you know? That's what they don't understand. That's why they keep failing, you know? Looking in from the outside. This is a long video, man. So who is this person? Westside Tyler. From the West Side. Same.
Last couple years.
That's me. The taxes. Wait, is it going to be one of those videos? Is it just going to be like, anytime I say anything, he's going to be like, did you know this is Vaush? Like, it's not even going to be about any of the dating advice stuff? At least it's not 9 hours. I mean, I get, but if it was 9 hours, then it would be at least it's not like 23 hours. 14 minutes in for about 10 minutes. Mr. Slyn, how do you know? Okay, fine. 14 minutes in for 10. All right, sure. Sure, I'll take a peek. No guarantees in this one, okay? Hey, I could have told you that. Check shorts. Oh yeah, how are the shorts doing? No, the shorts also have not that many views. This guy looks like a freak, and I hate him. What if I can't grow a beard?
Dude, this is, I'm telling you, if this is that thumbnail, the thumbnail. This is, you can, if we have somebody, if we end up making a segment of this, the thumbnail is just the Spider-Man meme with Vaush's head on this and me drawing in like the back of whatever this guy's head looks like. Because that's all, it's a Spider-Man point. That's Spider-Man meme.
Very good. Sort by popular? Yeah. Maybe they used to be much more popular. Oh, here we go. Why were the Nazis so stylish? Secret history revealed. 4 secrets to keeping your shirt tucked in all day. Use glue, idiot.
How dare
I love being me. Sorry. Just
this gooner impugn this man's honor, I swear to God.
First 10 things. So wait, when, okay, you said 14 minutes in, but it's been 1 minute and he hasn't said anything. When does it woman.
Often does slip. It starts.
Thumbnail, man. Oh, does your t-shirt not cling to your body like a bodysuit? Does it not fit you like a goddamn tank top? Well, better pay to tailor your t-shirt. Oh, there's a bit of style and fold on the shirt you're wearing? No, 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 no. I want to.
Oh my god, he's so in over his head.
Guys, please don't bring your off-the-rack t-shirts to tailors to get them to cling to your body. Please don't do that. Please don't waste the tailor's time and yours. Don't waste your money. Don't do that. T-shirts stretch. That's what they do. You can just go a size down if you want to.
He's so in over. This is a man who does not know anything about fashion, trying to.
This is why you guys told me to watch this video, because it's bait. Because you're trying to bait me on my. Do you think I'm like a shonen antagonist? Do you think I'm like the rival character in a Y7 shonen like arc? You know, like you're gonna bait me with a simple like, huh? I guess this guy doesn't know anything about fashion anyway, and I'm gonna go, what you say? Like, what? Do you think I'm that easy? Is that why? I'm giving this like 15 more seconds to get interesting.
Pretend he has opinions by being a little negative Nelly. That's what this video is.
To know the first 10 things a woman notices about a man. That's right. We're getting a segment out of this.
There she is, guys. That beautiful woman you've been wanting to speak with. You start to walk.
Also, like, Vaush, yeah, I mean, some people probably do like tailor their stuff to fit their upper torso because they got an upper torso worth showing off. You know what I mean? Like,
not the t-shirts. Not the t-shirts. You can get shirts tailored, yeah, but not t-shirts.
I feel like if you were a different build, with all due respect, you might understand that.
Wait, does this guy think you get shirts tailored to show off your muscle? Like going to the tailor being like, yeah, okay, I have this dress shirt. I want this to fit my arms like a fucking bodysuit, okay? I want to look like Filthy Frank in this goddamn Oxford shirt, you know? Yeah, this is my fucking, you know, cornflower blue like, you know, Oxford button up. And I want this to look like it's spray painted onto me. You don't get shirts tailored to show off your physique. You get them tailored to, well, to drape appropriately, to make sure that they're the right width around your torso so that you get an appropriate amount of sag when you tuck them into your pants to make sure they fit your shoulders correctly. But if you're getting a shirt that doesn't fit your shoulders correctly, it'd probably be better to just find one that fits your shoulders, not to tailor them. Okay, yeah, no. This isn't interesting. Autistic information access. Imagine coming at me on a fashion line. Honestly. Phew, that was almost a fashion segment disguised as a react segment. Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah, no, that felt like a free clout one to me, more so than like anything substantive. Imagine coming at you on fashion looking like fucking Asmongold. Look, it's not about like, oh, haha, I know more than you on fashion, though I almost certainly do at this point, more than that guy. Yeah, but that's not even the thing, right? It's that what's going on in his head that he felt a need to be like unnecessarily contrarian on that. The question isn't like, what does he know and what does he not know? It's why would he think to speak on that? You know, it speaks to like unfounded confidence, I guess. It's just like, it's posturing, right? What about dog fashion? I don't know anything about dog fashion. I could easily get mogged on dog fashion. Yeah, exactly, Thana. At least skip forward 2 minutes to see if he. No. I have finite time. It's a clout thing. You guys need to understand. Like 99% of the time, when I get linked videos of people being directly critical of me, there is like, it is such a transparent. Well, not necessarily clout sharking, but it's just like a waste of time. If I let's just be real here, okay? I've never said anything wrong, so what are they even criticizing, right? Like, come on, guys, be real. It's just it gets boring for me, and it would just be a fashion segment, by the way. I felt like he made good points about you being overconfident in the section that we saw, or do you mean like in the broader video? Apparently, the guy whose video you just watched is in YouTube chat right now wants to bait you. That's an excellent way to disprove the clout sharking accusation. That's like a magnet, you know? That's remarkable. Do it? Are we going to argue about tailored t-shirts? Well, I don't even know what we're arguing about. Fine, but if this turns into a fashion thing and you all get mad at me, you literally asked for it. Okay, who's the person? You should be able to hear me through Discord now.
Yes. Hey, what's up?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Fine. Sorry about YouTube is what YouTube is, so I do have to come in a little hot.
Oh, that's fine. I would do the same thing in your position. I don't fault you for it. That being said, since it was a long video and I didn't exactly get to the meat of it, what did I say in the video that you disagreed with?
So I think the biggest issue is that it seems like, I guess you're new to like fashion is like a big hobby, right? And so it's very personal for you, and you're trying to sort of explicate what works for you in fashion onto other people in a way that might not actually really work for them, because their just overall vibe is completely different than yours. And so the way that guy approaches, which I know dudes like him, he is I guess I can say I say acoustic in my in my community. He's a little bit of a on the spectrum former Marine Corps officer, and so a lot of them dress like that, and that actually is what would make them comfortable enough to even talk to people, which is where I think the sort of breakdown kind of came from.
Well, wait, what?
That you would give them advice that kind of wouldn't quite maybe work for someone like him. You know what I mean? Because you can trash the way he looks, fair, but the way he looks is the way he wants to look.
What comments did I make with regards to his appearance that you're disagreeing with? I don't remember the specific stuff that I said. I know this guy, he has like a big fashion channel, and he has a bunch of like scam fashion website AI article stuff that all like cross links into, like very basic bitch men's
I don't doubt that at all.
So I mean, I hate that fashion trend in general, to be sure, and I will criticize it when I see it, but I don't remember what I said about him specifically.
Gotcha. I won't get into hyper specifics. I'll just generalize. You sort of made fun of, I know specifically you made fun of the neck of the collar of his jacket and the quarter zip from the bottom. I remember those two, I think. And then kind of generally just, it's a vibes based argument, which is fine because it's fashion, it's art. But the vibe was kind of like, or your overall argument was kind of like, his vibe is extremely off. I would do all of these things different, but you were kind of hitting it like you're like trying to like, I'm John Paul Gaultier here, fucking trying to like fix this man, where, I don't think even me or you or a lot of people can kind of get into a fashion conversation that deep. Neither of us are we're not Tim Gunn. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, so without remembering the specific criticisms that I offered, I think part of it is me being petty and gay, a thing to which I feel entitled. A lot of it is also kind of uncharitability, because I know that he's got a bunch of like monetized cross-linking going on, where I feel like if he's advocating advice that I would consider bad, it's not just bad in a vacuum where he's expressing his personal taste or interest. It's bad in this broader monetized context where he's like profiting from collaboration deals and brand deals and like advertisement revenue that he gets from sites where he, has AI generated stuff. Though I think that video is relatively old, so I don't know when he would have gotten into that particular grift. But I'm more negative on his stuff because it feels less authentic, basically.
Fair enough. His advice is, I will tell you this right now, that at least from that video, I will tell you from personal experience, it's authentic, awkward, weirdo military officer advice. You can watch mine off stream. You don't have to give me any clout. I don't care. But it goes into when he talks about, and I made fun of this online. He talks about gig lining, literally lining his belt up with the seam of his jeans. That is an actual conversation I have had, or not conversation, I've been spoken to while in formation like that a series of times. And so this is a guy who's literally trying to teach civilians, basically, in a very funny and kind of cringe way, how to dress to be a off-duty Marine, to Marine Corps uniform standards, which is actually like fucking hilarious. If you want to die, I said this in the video, you probably missed it. He gives advice to always make your shirt look good tucked in, and he says to wear shirt stays, which are military underwear suspenders, basically, that you wear connected to your socks. The dude's a dork. I don't know now, but once upon a time, this is a man I believe that is giving earnest to him advice. And I know people who would dress like this and be fine because it's dad fashion, basically.
I guess. I mean, so I'm looking at the video again, and he's referencing a ton of ebooks that he's written on specific stuff with regards to men's fashion and self-care, stuff like that. I guess I can't prove that it's inauthentic, obviously, nor would I seek to. I would just take it for granted. I can't know that. It's just a vibe that I get from this kind of stuff. And it bothers me because there's a pretty big intersection between bad men's fashion advice and broader, like, machismo or men's rights or red pill type stuff. And I don't think that anything he said in this video was very, like, red pill, but there was some, like, weird pseudo-avopsych, social psychology, pickup artistry stuff that I thought was kind of weird. And that paired with the specific kind of advice that he was giving, you know, there's a lot of artistry involved in men's clothing and styling. And I think that in a lot of cases, the way that these types of channels present men's fashion, they present it as like an inconvenient but necessary way of presenting wealth and posturing your status. And he talked about that constantly in the video, demonstrating status around other men, you know, wear these items to show your wealth or whatever. And I find that attitude towards fashion like really reprehensible. It's like the denigration of the art.
That is kind of the beginning of fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a bunch of, it's not the working class that's going to fashion shows in Paris. You know, we're not all going to New York City Fashion Week. There's a reason that there's differences in the lines to get into those buildings, because it is very much a way to show off your wealth and stuff. Otherwise, my man would be up here, you know, dressed as the communist forefathers in China, wearing that off gray one piece kind of type.
But they were dressed better than most modern Western, like Silicon Valley alpha male types, you know? But I'm not talking about the Paris runway shows or anything. I'm like, a lot of fashion that we consume today comes directly from the poor, like queer communities in Boston or New York or Chicago, or like urban street culture with Black or Hispanic people, you know?
I know you're new to fashion just because there's probably like 4 or 5 gay people at least listening to this right now that are screaming, tell him cerulean sweater. Just scream the words cerulean sweater monologue. Have you ever seen the movie The Devil Wears Prada?
No.
The point that you're making is actually attacked, and this is a fashion movie. It's attacked right there, where they talk about the economization of fashion and why the woman is wearing a cerulean sweater to a meeting with a high fashion, haute couture fashion editor. And it's because 4 years ago, to paraphrase and not get into it, like 4 years ago, there was a high show where somebody debuted their cerulean collection, so to say, and then it boiled down, and then eventually she got to buy that as a poor person from a TJ Maxx, and that is how fashion, even at the highest levels, affects people at the lowest.
But fashion is an art form. I'm not just talking about its presence as a commodity. Like if you take a look at art, for example, art isn't just, you know, like Banksy paintings selling for 90 million. Art is like a broader form of engagement, right? There's more to art than just the style and status that you need to sell big at an art show. And likewise, fashion isn't Paris runway shows. Paris runway shows are like the absolute upper echelon. And even at Paris runway shows, by the way, the people making those designs aren't usually like, business first kind of like money interested people. It's usually like artists whose work gets filtered up and eventually they get known as the auteurs in their field. It's kind of like that with art too, right? Like every artist today who sells for a fuck ton, back when they got started, they would have been, at least in many cases, they would have been like pretty started from the bottom. Now we're here. When I talk about fashion, I don't think that people
say that, but that's not necessarily the truth. I mean, we're kind of narrativizing the art world here in a way that I don't think is purely
I'm just
accurate.
talking about art, like art itself. Same as I'm talking about fashion. Like fashion isn't, if you're presenting fashion from a status first perspective, I think you've lost the plot entirely. I think that's a horrible way to come at it.
But I mean, really, have you though? I mean, this is kind of ignoring how the entirety of an industry works. Because first off, we're not making our clothes. It's not just Jennifer has knitted her own sweater and come out of her house, and now everyone's going to get that sweater. There's aspects of production. It's a massive economic thing. We watch glued to televisions to see people walk down runways, and then we buy perversions and not perversions, I'm sorry, derivations of these things that we see at the highest level and try to replicate them going down, and then the cycle repeats itself.
That's a description of the industry, but again, I'm talking about the art form here. Like but
you can't separate art from economics.
It's not a matter of separating it, but you're reducing an entire art form to the like commercial chain by which the people on the top end up like disseminating their values. I mean, any bourgeois society is one in which bourgeois values are dominant. This is a given essentially, but that's not fashion. Fashion is just.
But that is fashion.
No.
But it is. But you're trying to say that the individual.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. The process of presenting yourself through the clothing you choose to wear is an artistic and personal decision that you make that can be a product of your interests, of what you want to show off about yourself, of what you care about. Now, these things aren't separate from the economics. Of course they're not. But it doesn't mean then that every like fashion bit of advice should be about maximizing like prestige or impact or whatever. Because the logical consequence of that would be everybody dressing like a Silicon Valley venture capitalist with an overpriced watch and a poor-fitting chinos, It's not. The status and like artistry are two different things. Some of the best dressed people in men's formal wear aren't super wealthy guys showing off their wealth. They're auteurs for fashion, right? Who wear like custom suits that cost, a significant portion of their monthly pay because they care about presenting themselves in a given way. It's not really a status thing. It's a style thing,
Why are they, why are they presenting themselves in a certain way though? It's kind of like, to what end? Is it just to be, not to increase your status, just to be seen real quickly and then leave? I mean, I feel like.
Do you think all women do their makeup to like present status and prestige over others? It's about self-expression.
Not prestige and status over other, but establishing your current status is a thing. Obviously, if you start going into work and you don't groom yourself, which for women, unfortunately, does now include an extensive makeup routine. But if you start going to work and you don't groom yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, you don't brush your hair, you will decrease in status. Sometimes it's not an aspect of increasing your overall ability to show off how well you are, but just maintaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but the same with suits.
I'm not talking about workplace standards. I'm talking about like day-to-day.
You were talking about workplace standards. You said that and I answered that.
I'm talking about day-to-day. How do you choose to present yourself? And women
most people go to a workplace day-to-day.
Okay, I feel like you're being deliberately obtuse here. We both know. I am being
highly specific.
We both know fully well that day-to-day people choose to present themselves in a wide variety of ways, and that the ways in which they choose to present themselves are not direct products of the status they're trying to present. If that was the case, every single person would be wearing like high fashion clothing, or they would be wearing a suit everywhere. But very common these days, people dress down. Even wealthy people, like Bill Gates, wears a cheap polo, like most of the time, You're
sort of bypassing this conversation in a weird way. We're talking about day-to-day dress, day-to-day dress that shows off your status. A police officer wearing his uniform The uniform is the same every time. It has decision.
That's a uniform.
That is fashion. That is fashion. Do you know how the police uniform was developed in
We're
America?
not talking
Do you
about
know the
how it
history
was.
of that?
Okay, we're not talking about how it was developed.
It's also the way that the suit was developed through military.
We're talking about the
couture.
choices that people make to present themselves. If you have a
That's
uniform,
a choice that you've made if you're a volunteer to be a police officer.
Okay.
As a police officer in the morning.
No. Okay.
You are being obtuse.
You have to understand that you're being. You have to understand that you're being dishonest at this point, right? We are talking about the choices that you make to present yourself.
Pause now.
If you have a uniform
please articulate
that you have to wear to do your job, that's not a choice in self-presentation. That's a requirement of your job. I don't even understand how this is relevant to the point that we were making. Which is voluntary because we have a voluntary economy, despite obviously a voluntary economy. What are you talking about?
We have an economy full of people that take on voluntary responsibilities in order to gain money. All right. One of those things is volunteering to do this, that, or that other job. Volunteering, not as in for no income. Volunteering is in saying, I am choosing to do this thing. That's why we live in so-called quote unquote right to work.
So you think if you asked a cop off the street, hey, why are you wearing that uniform? They would say, oh, this was a fashion choice that I made to project status.
Well, quite literally, you're changing the words, but yes, they would say, I volunteered to become a police officer.
Okay, this is... we've managed to reductio ad absurdum this conversation.
You are actually being dishonest. Stop. I was answering, and you're getting upset because it's a good answer.
Wait, hold on. You're imitating my mannerisms when I try to talk over people, but the first step in this process is being right and then being wrong.
I've successfully done it a few times, Vaush. I've successfully done it. So I'm not imitating.
We are talking about...
now you have to keep going.
I don't even understand how you could have a fundamental disagreement with my positions on fashion if you're arguing from the point that literally everything that a person wears at all points, even uniform, like if you go up to a soldier in the army and it's like, well, why are you wearing that fashion choice?
Did you know that there are choices that you have to make? In fact, you should have to make the right choice every time.
Boring.
Do you know?
Guys, this is what I mean. I don't have patience for the boring shit anymore. Come on. Oh, come on. No! Are you kidding me? I thought it was going to be about dating advice being bad, and now we've removed ourselves to the point of like, actually, literally all fashion is just status projection, and you can tell that from people in uniform? Are you kidding me? Come on. I don't have patience for this anymore. This is punishment for the fashion arc? Yeah, I guess so. But I thought you liked talking about fashion. He didn't want to talk about fashion, though. Like, this is ridiculous. This is prime content, though. How bored do you have to be? That got boring fast, yeah. In the end, his inner libertarian was... I don't think he believed anything that he was saying. Those Chick-fil-A workers sure do love making fashion statements. I don't like the statement, like a fashion is a choice that you make for self-expression. I didn't really expect to get hung up on that debate point. Obviously, like the uniforms that people in the military and the police wear are the products of like input from designers, of course. But that's not really the point that I'm talking about when I talk about making choices on how to style your dress. I think the weird thing is that like that guy's point also invalidated the arguments made in the video that he was defending, because that guy, the ex-military dude, would also not argue that all clothing is worn only for status projection, because he says otherwise in the video. Any aesthetic consideration outside of status projection is like its own thing. Status is a big part of why a lot of people dress, but that status... So first of all, there are different meanings to status. The status posturing that I mind is stuff like wealth and power. That's not a great motivation for art, and it never has been, right? Like artistry has almost always been built from the ground up, not like as a, like first and foremost, like a projection of power. But if by status you mean like my status as a person in this community, like punk, like, right? Like dressing up like in a punk style can be a way of showing status within a community. That's different from status in like, in a cumulative sense, I guess. I also don't know what he was on about with The Devil Wears Prada. You were really just arguing about capitalism while pretending it was about fashion? No, I didn't want to argue about... No, I wasn't... I had no interest in arguing capitalism at all. I was just talking about the choices of self-expression, you know? The Devil Wears Prada is about fashion, but it takes a really elitist view of it. Sure, I don't know what that has to do with people's day-by-day choice to present themselves, though, right? Like, does that mean that every item of clothing that a person wears... You know most people dress a certain way because they want to look nice, right? It's not really a status thing. People just want to look nice. You say fashion is built from the ground up. He brought up that movie because he thinks everyone on the ground is just imitating the top percent. Does he think everyone's trying to imitate fashion runway models? I don't understand that at all. Obviously, like, trends set by like big designer companies do flow down, because usually you have runway shows, and then like the runway shows are meant to advertise certain like cuts or styles or whatever that then get filtered down through like regular fashion brands or whatever. But not everyone who dresses well or who tries to dress well just follows the current trend, you know? Like, that's not all of fashion. You can, like, you know, there are people who do fashion and care about fashion. They shop from thrift stores, right? How do you parse that with like a everyone's just following the runway models attitude, you know? We live in an era of unprecedented access and variety in what we can dress like. And I think that actually makes it harder to dress because we don't have as much information about where those styles come from, what they mean. It's not about current fashion, but it was trending fashion at some point. Yeah, but then that doesn't mean anything. Everyone is just chasing like status in their clothing style because their clothing is cobbled together from different decades where at some point in time the thing they're wearing was popular. This is at that point we're not even making like an elitist criticism anymore. At this point we're just saying, hey, did you know that your clothes were made by companies? Like it's meaningless, you know? Is he maybe self-reporting that's why he's into fashion? No, he doesn't care about fashion. He got uppity with me because I made fun of the idea of like bringing your t-shirts in to tailor them to be slim fit. I don't think he knows or cares much about it. I think he's just being snooty. The subject could really use a video essay. I'm not saying anything, like everything that I'm saying is so straightforward that I feel like the fact that I have to repeat it is an indication that people in chat don't understand what it is that I'm talking about. But I'll reiterate just one more time, okay? There are many social and cultural influences that lead to the production and interest in the clothing that we see day by day and we wear. That's the case for all products ever made in all of human history. Everything that you wear, everything that you see, every game you play, every movie you watch, every TV show, none of it is free from broader systems of consumption and advertisement. It's all there. There's no escaping it. However, that does not mean that everyone's personal choices in a day-by-day sense are a product of them just trying to chase the status of what they're told is like a high-value thing to do. People watch movies and TV shows that they're interested in. People wear clothes that they think make them look nice, right? People do things, you know, in ways that aren't like direct products of not style, status chasing, right? One of the most status susceptible industries, I think, are vehicles. People do tend to buy the newest vehicles.
Thanks for watching. Like I said at the start of this video, if you'd like to dive much deeper into this subject and listen to my multiple hours of analysis, check out the original post-debate live stream in the description. You can also watch the companion video to this to be released shortly after. Thanks again for taking the time to hang out here on the Westside, and until next time, as always, stay safe out there.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the Westside.